When is the last time that you thought, I would love my team to do one thing, but they did another? If that is you and you've been running a company or you've been running a team, or maybe you've been even running a team of AI agents and even they're not listening to you, then this video will help you out. It'll help you out because, it really doesn't matter what you have been expecting of your team. And here's exactly how to actually get. All right, welcome to our leadership series, and today we'll talk about team management, and you will see that most managers and leaders actually don't really know what they're doing. Yeah, unfortunately so. To be fair, I also didn't, so this is not news, and this is pretty common thing amongst all of us that we just enter and land in a position sometimes where we are managing people and we have no idea how it's done. And to be honest, it's not just the leadership on the first levels. No, if you're a CEO or C-level, whatever, executive, then there's a good chance that also you have no idea what you're doing. That's right. Yes, I'm sorry. No matter what title you have, it's very, very likely that even you are screwing it up. And you'll notice it often if the following thing, for example, happens where you are expecting something from your team. There's something that you hope will occur where you say, internally, you're just expecting some things to happen. Oh, I expect this person to finish this on time. I expect us to meet these targets, right? You have tons of expectations and you have basically no agreements, right? And that can be quite hilarious because when you have expectations of somebody and they don't know about it, you will be disappointed and they cannot meet them, right? And so this would happen sometimes when I go and work with companies, and you would notice that they're not really aligned. People are not very happy with each other. They seem like there's some sort of inner conflict or outer conflict constantly going on. And the main reason for that and for the performance drop is that the teams run on expectations and they don't run on agreements, right? And can be fairly easy to spot because expectations often just aren't communicated, or they will be communicated in a way where the leader would say, we have to get this done this week. And there would be no input from the team, or the input maybe do a thumbs up, because there is really no other option than to just say yes, right? But if an agreement looks a little different, right? An agreement would look like this, where their leader would say, guys, we want to do this week. Are you able to get it done by Friday, like 1 p.m.? And then, having built enough psychological safety in the team so the team can say, I don't think we can get it done, if they really think they can't, right? Because sometimes what also happens is that people will just say yes because they don't want to lose their job. And so all of a sudden you have like all this weird stuff going on where nobody's really telling the truth because they're afraid. And so if you have built enough psychological safety and your team knows they can say no without losing their job, then they will likely say, no, we can't meet this deadline. It'll take actually at least 2 weeks to make this happen. And the fun part, what happens then, is sometimes the leader will be shocked. They'll be like, but what do you mean? I have promised to all my stakeholders an unreasonable deadline, and I told them already we'll finish this. How can you guys not deliver? Right? And so oftentimes the leader will then be kind of in a not so great position because they've promised to everyone else without checking with their team first. Oh my God, and so many leaders do this. They just promise something because they think it can be done without having really looked into it. And so the team has to kind of catch up and hopefully deliver. And so that's why so many things kind of fall apart. And that's also how quite toxic work cultures develop, actually. So how can you do this differently? So let's say you do notice that all of a sudden, or not all of a sudden, but like on a regular basis, there is really no particular discussion around what can be done, what can be met, right? And so sometimes when you change from expectations to agreements, what happens is the leader would say, well, oh, okay, so if we can't meet, if we can't make this happen until Friday, until when can we make it happen? And somebody would say, well, you can make it happen until Wednesday. And the leader would think for a second. They would ask, well, what would you need in order to make it happen till Friday? And then the person would say, well, I would need to work with one more person on it. We would need to be two of us, and then we'll make it happen till Friday for sure. And the leader thought for a second and said, okay, I'll give you another person. And they would shake hands, and they would go ahead and get it done. And, they would literally deliver the thing on Friday. And you see how, so agreements are a very different beast, a different way of actually doing anything, doing business in that sense, right? Because clearly you're not just running around in your head, you know, speaking out your wishes and waiting for everyone else to deliver, but it's an actual conversation where both parties find common ground and they finally get to a point where they notice what can be done and how it will be done, and then they shake hands or they agree that this will be the way they'll carry it out. The good news about this fantastic distinction of agreements versus expectations is that the same applies in all other relationships. That's true. Yeah. So even in romantic relationships, or even if your partner's there or your kids, you will notice that agreements are pretty good foundation, because people don't like breaking their own agreements. Yeah, they'll go to great lengths to not break their own agreements. And you can really test this out, right? So even, for example, in the partnership, if a partner would say, I think I would love to, I will be there at 8 p.m. And then, you kind of shake hands and you say, cool, I'll be there with you at 8 p.m. and we'll make that happen. You notice people really try to make that happen. Now, the thing is this, sometimes there will come a point where on a regular basis, one would break their agreement, right? They would break their agreement on an occasional basis with that person, with your partner, for example. And if that really happens, then really there must be a conversation being had about how actually you're making agreements with each other, and you can ask the other person if they are willing to hold the agreement. When they make an agreement, that they actually honor it, right? And if they try to do that, then that's great. Because here's the thing, like once people really like decide, yeah, let me actually hold agreements, then relationships are possible, right? Before that, so if I can't even trust your word on anything, there is no relationship possible at the end of that, right? And so that's an important distinction here to notice. So for anyone who really is not even honoring their own word, you will not have really good relationships, or any relationships for that matter, for a very long time, because people feel like they can't trust your word. What can they trust? Right? And that's why if you want really to step into better relationships, manage better teams, you can start with yourself and start to say, cool, let me create agreements only where I can hold them. Let me not promise something that I can't hold, right? Hold up to. And let me change the way how I do things. Let me not expect things from my team anymore, from my partner anymore. Let me create agreements instead. And then let's see how life happens. Do you enjoy more things? Do things occur more frequently, in a better way, or do you start to notice that it's true, there has been lots of expectations in the room, and now all of a sudden things start to move further. Let me know in the comments below if you've applied this fantastic technique even once, and see how your life and your business change based on this little distinction. And I'll see you in the next episode. Bye.